I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. And I thought I would do a more light video, or at least a video topic called Job Search Lessons from the Movies. I think this applies more broadly than job search, but I'm just going to deal with it in job search. And I chose the movie Rocky, which I just started watching again on Amazon Prime. And I've been a big fan of this series for a long time. Not all the movies are good, quite obviously, but the first one in particular carries a wonderful lesson that I think all of us can take away. And I'll apply it to myself in an earlier stage in life. And the lesson really starts off with the initial work begins in private. It begins away from the public eye, away from being visible. The practice, the effort, the hard work starts in private. In the movie, this is depicted by Sylvester Stallone, who's playing the character of Rocky, gets up early one morning after he's been chosen to fight the heavyweight champion as a no-name, know-nothing bum. And he gets up early one morning, 4 a.m., I believe is what's on the alarm clock, out of his Coldwater flat apartment in Philadelphia. Gets up, stumbles over to the refrigerator, takes out a bunch of eggs, cracks, I think it's a half a dozen eggs into a glass, and drinks the egg yolks. Then from there, he gets into his gray sweatsuit and then starts rumbling around outside, doing his run. He's in no shape. He can barely move. But at 4 a.m. with the lights dark and everyone in bed, the character goes out and starts to jog and to begin his effort to get into shape. For many of us in job search or in other areas, the initial lesson is you start quietly. You start by doing the work. You may not be perfect at it, but you start by doing the work. You try. You put in effort. And then the second lesson from the movie is he realizes, even though he's angry at his former manager, who took his stuff out of his locker and gave it away to someone else, and put his clothes in a bag in the locker room in an area that's nicknamed Skid Row, what he realizes is that he needs him. And he runs after him as the character played by Burgess Meredith starts walking down the block, defeated. He runs after him to tell him that he's going to want to hire him to manage him. We need people in our lives who can do the thinking for us so we can just put in the effort and energy into doing what's necessary. We can follow direction instead of having to figure it out. It's like, well, I'll just simply say most recently, when I wanted to lose weight, I had tried a lot of different ways to lose weight. And I decided one day enough was enough. I would work with a trainer and get coached into it. Lost that 25 pounds. In another stage in my life, the hard work, the doing the work in private was when I and a number of other men I knew decided to run the New York Marathon. And I was in no shape to run a marathon. I had spent 2 years, just doing basic jogging, and I got to the point of doing a half marathon and was exhausted when I finished. And in this particular case, I remember after taking a couple of weeks off from the half, I would start doing the work on the full marathon, and I would go out there early in the morning and just do the road work to initially build my way up to running 7 days a week. 6 days a week, 1 day off, and then to 7 days a week. So I would be ready to run that race. Everyone around me initially went, yippee, you're running a marathon. Yay for you. And then they all disappeared. And I was left to do the work in private. And then as I got closer to race day, everyone resurfaced again. Hey, are you still running the marathon? And they were out there cheering, but were they with me when I did the work? Where I got myself someone to coach me, to help me do the work necessary to run this race? No. A lot of the work is done out of the public eye. It's done away from being visible. You may not even have a lot of supporters, but you just need one. Someone to encourage you, someone to push you, someone to cajole you, to get into your head, to remind you of what you're going for. It's not enough to do it on your own. You need advice around you. You need an ally. Just like in this movie, the lead character wound up with an ally who helped him. And then, of course, there's the ally of his wife. That's a different part of the conversation. I'll just say it's a great lesson that most of you can learn from. You think you can just go out there and explode onto the scene and win and be a champion? No. It takes lots of road work, lots of effort in private, and ideally, and I have to say ideally because there's some people who do it without it, a trusted advisor or coach to help you cross the finish line. And I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. If you'd be interested in my coaching you, visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. Use the tabs on top to choose the service that you're interested in. I'd love to help you win at this particular race. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. This is the most recent episode of Job Search Radio, done in video form. Hope you have a great day. Take care.